said 2 and negative 2? Alright.
So you want everything on this side.
Most of the time you'll just have 1. Sometimes you'll have 2. If you have 1, when you start at negative 2, we want to find 3 coordinates to the right of it, which would be negative 1, 0, and 1. I'm going to put it over here. What would be to the left of this line?
Negative 3,
Negative 3,
negative 4,
negative 4, negative 5. Alright, so to get y, what everybody's trying to get, y, negative 1, plug it into the original equation right here. Whatever has an x, you put it in, you plug in negative 1. So it'll be 2 times negative 1 squared minus 2.
So 0.
Yes. 2 minus 2. You get a 0 on top. Right? What is 0 divided by anything?
undefined.
0.
Undefined.
So obviously you found one of your zeros, right? Is that one of your 0 coordinates that you found? Everybody understand? That was your 0 coordinate. That's where the graph will cross the x-axis. Okay? So then plug in 0 now in that equation. Right? What do you get when you plug in 0?
0.
Negative 2 over negative 4, which.
If you plug in 0 with x squared, anything times 0 is 0, right? So you got negative 2 left on top. 0 minus 4 on the bottom. So negative 2 over negative 4 is
0.5.
1/2. In other words, 0.5. 0.5. Alright. 1.
It would be 0 because it's one of your zeros in it.
Be 1. 2 minus 2, 0. So it'd be 0 again. It'd be one of your zeros.
You got the board, Coach.
I got you. Alright, got it. What, Reese? Yes, Reese?
So those lines, like those, you only get those from the VA, right?
The VA and the HA are your imaginary lines.
Okay.
But if you had an HA, you'd use the y-axis,
Mhm.
just like you use the x-axis
Okay.
for that. And if it was like 5, you'd put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it'd be just a imaginary line through that.
So for HA, did y'all get 2?
That's HA. What does HA represent? Horizontal?
2 over 2.
Everybody know what horizontal is? See a horizontal line? That's how you see it?
Same what we're
SJ?
saying. It goes
Horizontal?
Leading coefficient over leading coefficient.
VA,
That's what it says.
vertical.
Same what we're saying is LC over LC.
2 over 2 is 1.
Alright.
So you go to the exponents, right? And
What
then
was
you
our
subtract
holes?
the leading coefficient, which is 2 and 1. So 2 over 1 is 2.
2?
It was 2 over 2.
What is this first of all, what
If
is
it's
this
the
factor
same,
to?
you go to leading coefficient, which is like the very first number.
Is that right?
If you took out the
Oh,
two
my bad.
significant
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, go you back up on the stand.
Hmm?
Said you're going back up there. It's your turn to shine.
And that would be a what? Difference of
squares.
squares?
Should be x plus 1, x 1.
Over what?
X plus 2.
Difference of squares again?
X plus 2 and x minus 2.
Will anything cancel?
No.
So what do you have for your holes?
None.
None.
And
Don't just leave it blank. None. Zeros. What do we use when we're solving for zeros?
So the top equals.
the numerators.
Numerators. What Reese says your top.
So 1 and negative
Can you do this? Solve for that.
No.
No.
No,
Nay.
can't do that. Okay? Alright, so what would your zeros be?
Two and negative two. I mean,
One,
one
one.
and negative one, so I was in the middle.
So 1 comma 0,
Hmm?
and then negative 1 comma 0.
Alright. Now our VA, what do we use in solving for the VA?
Then the denominator set them to
Denominators,
7 to 0.
7 to 0.
X equals negative 2. X equals 2.
Whoa.
This one just says put the X equals.
Everybody get that? Did anybody not get that? Jalen?
I just wrote it wrong.
Okay.
Can you do like negative two comma two, or do you have to write it separate?
You can do negative 2 and 2. That'd be fine. We understand what you're talking about when you're doing that. Alright, so our HA now.
I got 2. I think it's right.
What do we have on top? What's our degree on the top?
So it's 2
Two.
2 over 2.
What's our degree on the bottom?
2.
2.
So if it's
2 over 2?
Is leading coefficient over leading coefficient.
What instance is that?
2 over 1.
Same over same. Yes, SJ. Which one is that? B? Then what do we use?
Coefficients.
Leading coefficients,
So 2
as
over
Gavin
1.
says. Which is 2 and
1.
1.
So y equals 2.
Y equals what?
2.
So we do have one of those now. Reese? Remember when we said, when would you have this? We have one now. Okay?
It'll be on two.
Do what?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so for our y-intercept, how do we solve for this now? Zeros in and the x's, right? Because anything times 0, 0. Alright, so what are you left with?
Negative 2 over negative 4.
Which is
0.5.
0.5. Is it negative or positive?
Positive.
Alright. So now we go to plug in on the graph now. Alright. Do we have any holes? No. Okay, so then we move on to our zeros. 1 and 0. Let's go. 1, 0. -1, 0. So this means that whenever the graph is or you graph the graph, that's whenever it crosses the x-axis. Alright, so we got our zeros in. Now we go with our VA, which is negative 2 and 2, just like over there. Negative 2, 2. Alright, got our VA, HAs. 2.
1, 2.
Y. 2. So what do these imaginary lines mean?
Can't be crossed.
Can't be crossed, can't be touched.
It's gonna be a whack
The
line.
graph will get as close to these lines as it possibly can without touching it, theoretically. Alright? So our y, last characteristic is our y-intercept, 0.5. 0.5, right there. What do we think in the middle? What do you think it's gonna look like?
It's going up.
A little parabola?
Down.
It's gonna go like this.
What do you go down?
If I had to guess, it'd be like.
It was something you can.
Yeah, I forgot what we called it.
Everybody understand? Chris, you got a question?
Yeah, I
Yes,
forgot.
Tristan.
I know what you're talking about. I forgot.
The ones right here, the zeros, they're just coordinates.
Is it like if the zero has a multiplicity of one
We'll
it
get to
cuts
that in a
through,
moment.
or something like that?
Alright, so that's what it looks like.
I just know
Without touching it.
what it's called.
You remember when we did that? The multiplicities? Is that what it is? I think it's what it is. If it's multiplicity of one, it cuts through. If it's an even number, it bounces.
That's
If it's
what
in,
you
if
said. I don't see that.
it's in the odd number higher than one, it would do that little
It's gonna be
zigzag
like,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Alright, what was our coordinate, or our equation? Square root minus what?
I can't even put zero for x's. Do you do remove? If you try to push a factor.
X squared.
Okay. It'll both work. Okay.
Minus 4.
Minus 4?
Mm-hmm.
So we got the middle part right,
Mm-hmm.
which is, we haven't graphed anything past to the left or the right of our two VAs. Everybody understand that? So we graphed the middle part right. Alright, so, what do we have? Alright, does everybody get their homework?
C.
Everybody got their homework? Exchange. What number is that? It was number 3 and then 8 through 16, is that right?
Yeah.
C.
Alright, so if they did it, they showed their work, showed their answers, and they attempted to graph it. Put it that way. Attempted.
Define attention. Define attention.
Yes. Give them credit.
Okay,
For number 3, they didn't show anything, mark it wrong. Even for the graph. If they missed the graph, they didn't do the graph, -1.
Coach Katie, is this like similar to when we did the multiplicities? If it's like one, it cuts through, and if it's any even number,
Well, a little
it
bit,
bounces.
yeah.
It bounces. That's what I was thinking.
Alright. So how many do we miss? 0. -11, 82. There's 60 questions, 60 possible answers.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes, Kurt.
Oh.
6 is 90. What? 13, 78. 4,
He puts his book on.
93. Anybody else have another number besides those?
Mm-mm.
You look at the degree in the top and bottom.
Like
1,
T and then the X.
98.
Let's click on the X's.
That's where you decide the tile, the level, the same, the level behind.
One hundred. Huh? Not this Saturday, but next Saturday at Cash. No. 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 No.
Where do you have
Mhm.
Where do you have money for? Cause it's easy. Well, her judge is in that. Is that Emily girl in your class? That's new.
Alright, Shamika's not here. Anthony,
Not here.
not here. Colin,
93.
Jayla,
100.
Maria,
She's not here.
Cam,
100.
Jalen,
100.
Did it last period.
Samantha,
No, did one last period.
Gabrielle,
98. I'm fine.
Tristan.
I got a 78.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been.
Could have been a 77.
Do your homework.
Quaylen.
Not here.
Oh, my bad.
I got a 78.
I don't know why he's not here.
78 on an effort.
Kirsten,
He's so angry.
Look, coach, I just got to the graphic.
Greg.
Got through my pencil and went to the
Okay.
I got mad. I got frustrated.
Trinity,
That's only 6 graphs.
Yeah.
I don't equal
Carla.
78.
100.
He said minus 1 point for each graph, right?
Mistura.
I got it.
Problem.
Who's Mistura?
Oh, Lamade.
Lamade, sorry.
82.
Mysteria. That's your first name?
Reese,
100.
Isn't that her first name? Isn't Mysteria her first name?
Probably.
Elijah, Sabrina,
Not here.
This class is getting
Right.
too small.
Brennan,
100.
Oops.
I think she's close.
Hey, how many days are you supposed to be quarantined?
Riley,
Favorite test or not?
That's why.
Toronto,
I'm not here.
Is Boa quarantine?
Yeah, Bobo and Quinn quarantine.
And Shanika? I got called up.
Alright, give us more problems.
Alright. Figure out this graph. Everybody have calculators?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. More work. Let's see what other problem.
Can I get a calculator?
Everybody remember this? When we was trying to find their GCF
Yeah, but I'm not into it.
Table.
graph? Go to table.
How do you do it?
You don't need a graphing calculator. Regular calculators be sufficient.
You got a cell phone, don't you?
This is a TI 30.
No, it won't work. But I'm
Okay,
saying that cell phone
everybody
is not a
here?
calculator.
Yeah, that's what
Everybody got me?
Riley, give him one, please.
Table. You got it?
Appreciate it.
Okay, so we got table, enter. Now then, what was our coordinate, or our equation for this problem?
2x squared minus 2.
So you always gotta put it at the top, everything in parentheses. So we go 2. Where's x squared, what was it, minus 2?
Two.
Even the bottom's gotta be in parentheses as well.
X squared minus.
And it was x squared minus 4. Alright. Everybody get that? Alright, so we just hit enter. Keep hitting enter. Keep hitting enter.
You know what else is saying valid?
Mine's saying,
Keep hitting enter.
you say that too?
Last time.
Mine's saying valid.
Valid.
We see it.
Did you put parentheses?
Did you put the right thing? Or table?
Oh, is it, you have to go to edit function?
Then go to the.
Oh, no.
Okay, we clicked on that, we gotta
Everybody
click
get it?
edit function. You know,
Everybody get this
We
table?
clicked it, we gotta go to edit.
So these are your x's, like we got up
Yeah,
here.
table.
And these are the y's. See -1, 0? You got that over there. -1, 0. Anybody see -2 error? What does that mean?
Can't use it.
It's on.
It's
What
on
was
the
this?
line, it's on the imaginary line.
This is imaginary line right here, right? Yep. So anything, what it really means is -2 divided by 0, which is you can't have, right? Undefined. That's what it's saying.
Hey, coach, hit table again.
Did y'all go down to edit function?
Hit enter. Hit, clear that out, coach. And then just hit all the way up. You might even hit delete, just go ahead and delete all that. Yeah, you might go hit that fraction button.
Where's the fraction button?
On,
Fifth,
It's on the
left side, fifth row from the top, second, fifth from the top, second.
Right here?
Yeah, yeah. Boom.
They could put it in like that
They
without
could put it in
parentheses.
like that.
The problem is, like when I did it in Reese's, it gives the coordinates in fractions.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, like, you'd rather have
You'd
the,
rather put it in parentheses, the top
Right.
and the bottom.
I just checked it to see if it, I see it come
Okay.
out like that. You don't want to.
That's the easier way, because I know a lot of us are having problems doing this whole chart right now. That's the easy way to do it right now. That's why we can use graphing calculators, Reese. Okay? Alright. Tristan, what's wrong? Did you not get it?
I got it.
Question,
Do it
question,
again.
My brain.
question.
No, I know how to do it, like, I got it here. I got it.
Okay?
Just like,
That's a coordinate. See? You got -2.
it's turning me off at 8. Like, it's turning me off at 8, so I'm gonna go up to, I don't know, it was an 82. So like, how do you know me?
So, question, question.
We'll do some more stuff. Alright, this is your homework. You're doing everything like you did like last night,
Yeah, 10 to the grabs.
and we're gonna graph.
Oh, yeah.
You start doing all this right now?
That's how I like it together.
That's for your jockey.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Alright, we wanna do one of them on the board?
Yeah, the homework.
Of the homework?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, son.
And how about we do all of them?
That's what I did.
We'll do 19 first.
Okay.
19.
Hey, bro.
What's,
Can you get that up? Yeah, my team ain't going right now.
this is due Thursday, not tomorrow.
So this is our fast work too or not? We have one other.
I think you'll have some more fast.
Coach, you're killing
You're
it.
on tax.
You're better, y'all are better off in this class. My statistics class
You're killing
has
me.
a lot.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it is.
How many problems do you have?
Like tonight or in general?
They have a lot to do between now and Thursday.
You know
Put it
what,
that
just
way.
expect to see me for like 3 sessions tomorrow.
Okay, this is fun. Everybody got this written down?
No,
Good.
not yet.
I know.
I'm almost done.
What y'all been doing?
We do it for
Two. I'm gonna come some school too. I'm gonna come 20.
Okay, got it.
I'm rusty on school stuff.
You got it.
I got it.
I don't even bring my book, I got the phone.
You good?
I just do mine,
Good
just
job.
setting on and do mine.
Let's go with. Alright. What's the 19?
Two over X.
2 over X. Can anybody see this one may be easy, but it also may be confusing?
I thought it was gonna be confusing.
Okay. Do you have, can you,
No.
factor?
No,
Okay, we'll move on to our first step, holes.
you don't have any.
No holes, right? So what do we put? None. Zeros?
Negative 2.
There's none. There's
Oh,
none.
yeah.
Do you
None.
remember me saying
It's the numerator, and if there's no X, it's the none.
you can't solve? So, zero, it's none.
X equals 0. That's
Alright, VA,
X equals 0. X equals 0. So it's not. No.
what do we say to do with the denominators?
Set it equal to.
Set it to 0. Set your denominators to 0. X equals 0, and that's solved already. Alright, for HA, what do we do HA?
Same. It's same over same.
No, because there's no.
1, 1. It'll
How
be
many
same.
X's are up top?
No. It'll be 0 over 1. It's a low over high.
What is that? Low over high, right? What instance is that?
0.
0. Alright, y-intercept,
2 over 0.
2 over 0, which is
Undefined.
undefined, which is
None.
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 You see where some people may get confused with that kind of stuff, but it's kind of easy at the same time?
So here comes the rough part.
The rough part, alright, somebody put that in their calculator,
I don't want to use it.
make it easy on you. put it in our calculator yet? What is -1?
Negative.
-2? -2. -1? -3?
Negative .66.
What about 1? 2 is,
I mean 2. No. 1.
what is it?
Two is one.
2 is 1? 3?
.67.
I thought he said one.
Alright, now we just graph. First of all, we put our 5 characteristics on the graph first. How many do we have? 2 characteristics. VA and the HA. Remember this instance yesterday? Cam?
Whoa. Huh?
Remember what this instance yesterday when you had a VA 0, HA 0? What did it look like?
Dotted across the origin. Uh-huh.
Okay. Now we did our 2 characteristics that we found. Now we just plug in our coordinates that we found. Now, -1, -2. Let's go with the -1, -2. -2, -1. -3, -1. Alright. So now we did this side. What do you think it looks like?
Is it
Yes,
going,
Bruce.
is it going down? C.
Now it gets as close to these lines as it possibly can in theory. Alright, so we did our first 3. -1, -2, -3.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's do 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2. 2, 1. 3.67.
This comes down like yeah.
There we go. Is that a little easier?
Yes.
The graph?
C.
Everybody understand? Riley? Good? Put it in your calculator right. Use parentheses. Find your coordinates. And everybody graph. Everybody think they're good at graphing? It's like playing Battleship when he says B6. You go B, find B, go down 6. It's like bingo as well. Yeah. You gotta find your, like A7. What? Because you need to use your mind. What if you don't have one? Don't remember to use that on the ACT test?
The only thing I know, you don't need none of this shit to count on my
You should. Are you laughing at Ken? Brandon, what you talking about?
What you talking about?
So we don't need none of this when we get out of high school.
Yeah, you will. You know what it's telling you to do? What is this trying to tell you to do? It gives you an equation.
Let me stop at
That equation is what? The problem.
Let me see how wide this is.
Listen.
Hey, check this out.
Hey, no, listen to me.
No, I got
You listen to me.
I got you.
All this is doing is giving you the problem solving skills. Life presents you a problem.
You work it out.
You work it out. That's all it's doing. Find.
Check this out. If you got a machine, I ain't gonna need none of this to count money. I got
Count
that-
money.
Huh?
This is more than just numbers and variables. It's just teaching you the problem solving. We got about 12 minutes left of class. Do the homework. Got any questions, ask me.
over.
Okay,
What?
one more thing.
No.
Does everybody understand why we use -1, -2, and -3, and 1, 2, and 3? Is that where a lot of people don't understand why we get numbers?
No, cause you went run the
Okay, when we find our VA, this is our ground zero. Whether it's 0, -2, 2, that's where we wanna start at. Okay, say if it's -2, we wanna find three coordinates to the right of -2, which would be -1, 0, and 1.
Only three.
Only 3. That'll be pretty much sufficient for you to get an idea of how the graph will be. 3 coordinates. And then I'm gonna get it to the left, which would be what, -3, -4, -5. That kind of cleared things up a little bit. This is your ground zero right here. VA. If you don't have a VA, you always start at 0. Yes, move on.
So you don't have any zeros or eights?
Why did they give me 0 since the VA is -3 on number 18?
On number 18, if the VA is -3, what?
They didn't put 0 on
You
it.
said negative 2 is positive.
Where, on the mountain, next
What
question.
did you say whenever there was awful lot, or whenever it was?
It was an error.
It was a error.
Yeah, but it didn't. But it was.
That's fine.
It won't always do
It
it.
won't always do it, but if
So
it
then-
does show you an error,
so
that's
that'll be
usually.
-4, I'll be -3, right?
Where your, that's where your VA is?
Yeah,
Right here?
this is -4.
I do -4, -5, -6. You just guess. You just put it as
Okay,
close,
okay,
and
okay.
it doesn't have to be
Under
exact.
one, yeah.
Listen, this is just a sketch. Like if you have like .333, it's a guesstimate. Doesn't have to be exact. No, we'll have to say, that's your VA. What would you use to arrive at?
Huh?
Three numbers to the right,
Is it 0?
3 numbers to the left. So if you graph it and show your VA, you can see it a lot easier.
Look at the, look at this calculations. Are you recording? That's fine. But like, you don't have any, what's that shit called in the top? Like A squared? Yeah, A squared and shit, like you don't got no, it's by itself. So like this is 1x. Really just count how many x's you got.
Yes,
So it's
Reese.
like 1x right here, and it's no x right there, so it's 0, 1. How many
Make sure
like
we
some
make
change?
the table and then one body. Oh, it's on.
My dominance is hard.
Always do parentheses. What parentheses?
One and then.
What's up?
Parentheses. Parentheses. Always close out your parentheses.
I did.
Okay.
Wait, so then.
So the wires have been.
Oh, I put it in here.
Okay, really? Okay, I just make sure I was wrong. Hey, thank you.
I forgot to put parentheses.
A3, yes. Holes, none, 0, none. Wires, that's 1 over. 103.
How you find?
What does it say?
Oh,
So every x in this equation, you just put 0.
when you find the HA by really just count the x's.
This one? Yes, count the number of x's on the top, and then the number of x's on the bottom.
So this one's 0. What would like?
Your intercept? Why do you think it'd be 0?
It's, I told you wrong, that's for the HA. For the y-intercept, you just.
Yeah, that's what
put
you're
everything.
he just asked. Okay, so where's your equation right here? 1 over x plus 3, right? So what is this number, what does the y-intercept say? So it says the y-intercept is found by setting x equal to 0. So any x in this equation is 0. Be 1 over 3. That's 0 right here. 0 plus 3 is what? 3. 1 divided by 3, you put it in a decimal. It's also important. That's Tristan. Okay, that's your equation, right? How many x's do you have on top? 0. So 0 over what? 0 over 1. Okay. So which instance would that be? Over. One's y-intercept? What does it say?
I know you gotta set each x equal to 0.
No,
Oh,
but yes. But it's also plugging it in. It means for every x in the equation, you plug a 0. That's all it says. Yep, so it's 1 over 0 plus 3.
even the y-intercept.
Yep, which is what in the decimals?
0 plus 6.
What? So we just put 0.3.
What is it supposed to be put in?
By 0.
Coordinates?
You love me
Yes,
too
sir.
much.
It's on 0.33.
We go out Thursday.
Okay, you got a lot better than last night. I was sure.
Yes.
What's up, bro?
You make me take, I didn't even do it on time.
That's not right. I'll
Yeah,
just
we're-
the whole equation.
Yeah, we're-
I
And you
can't
plug
do
in
that
0
part
for
with
this,
grandma
right?
because my
For the
parents
x?
is,
What's that to do?
You know, Coach Gamer, so more, if you don't be at
So
school.
you plug an x, 0 in for the x,
More that you don't be at school.
yeah.
0 plus 3 is what?
She asked me what happened.
What do you,
Told her I
don't
asked.
forget your 1 on top. So one
Well, she already
over-
knows. I was just like, okay. I was like, what she supposed to do? Break me? Like, okay. Like, the reason why I left that day is because my tonsils was like this. I was like freaking pecan. Like, they were really big.
Your throat was hurting. You
Yeah.
still got your tonsils?
I'm gonna get her removed.
That shit all hurt.
Alright, a lot of you guys are asking a question about the y-intercept. Okay?
You put zeros where X
You put zeros, you plug it in wherever x's are on this. So what's 0 minus 3?
Negative 3.
is.
Negative 3. 0 minus 2?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. What's that?
Hold up.
Carry your negatives around too. 2 negatives make a positive. Whenever you plug in zeros, don't forget the other parts of the equation. A lot of people are doing that.
So right here. Alright, so I have my HA.
Mhm.
0.
How does the graph go?
That's right.
So.
It's 3 coordinates. I wouldn't use
Wait,
zero
is this
because you
how the
already got
chart goes again? I have 6 right there on each side.
negative 4, 5, 6.
Teachers and students, please pardon this interruption. Total
But when I plug it in, like, these
First of
numbers
all,
don't
students,
pop up.
if you are, being picked up in the front hallway, remember you have to go to the
You wouldn't
clerk.
say that.
But I put this in my
I was just thinking
Oh, bro.
I could easy.
Students around campus.
You get a little better than yesterday?
Is this Marshall?
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is. Y'all doing great.
Students, please don't forget that if you bring your laptop.
Got it, Cam?
Yeah.
You got it. Good job. You got homework. Homework. So,
These 2 months,
-3, 0, 0. Yeah, that's right. What's the, you need to have some coordinates on this side.
like every year.
Mm-hmm. You remember when I said 3 to the right, 3 to the left? Your VA is your ground 0, so 3 this side of it, 3 that side. It's a lot of work.